When you were living back, before your folks separated, when you were living with them in Sequoia and Verdigre and all, do you remember any of the neighbors that you had at that time?
Yeah, we had, there was a big ranch there, and it was,
Where was this now?
that's at Sequoia. Oh, you talking about Verdigris?
Any of them?
Well, Sequoia, there was a ranch there, and they had lots of cattle. Of course, a ranch would have, and I know we had a cow that belonged to this ranch, and we kept her all the time, and we called her Blue, and we didn't own her, but of course the rancher knew we had her, and that's where we got our milk from, this old cow, and she was so gentle. And then we had some friends that lived over in the woods, and the girl's name was Owens, and her mother had remarried again, and she'd married a man by the name of Peterson, Bill Peterson, and the girls was Minnie and Winford. And Winford was my age, and Minnie was about Aunt Dolly's age, and they used to come to our house. And I know we had the smallpox, and we all had them but Dad. And Minnie come over there to borrow flour, and us in bed with the smallpox. And you know, and whoever could give her the flour. And I remember her looking through the window at us.
Huh.
She crawled up on something and looked through the window at us to see. And we had big bumps on us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, do you remember how it was treated?
no, I don't. I don't think we had a doctor. I think Mama just, he just sent us word what to do. There's so many sick people, he couldn't get around to all of them out in the country, you know.
You had kind of an epidemic then?
Yeah, it was an epidemic, and we were 7 miles from Claremore. We were way, you know where Squaw Switch is, way out there towards Foyle. So but we got along all right. And Mom's broke out, mine broke out in great big blisters, and Mom's was just like heat, just a rash. And hers was worse than mine. Mine broke out and then festered up, you know, and then the festers would dry up. And I didn't have too many big blisters on me, but she just broke out, just looked like she had heat on her. Yeah. And Dad didn't get it, but he went away from home. They was called him out on a job to go somewhere, and he had them while he's gone. And that's the funniest thing. Do you suppose he carried that germ with him all that time?
Probably did.
And he had it while he's gone down there, off by himself.
Yeah. Well, what did you kids do with the neighbors? I mean, what did you do? Playing games and that sort of thing? What kind of
We
things did you
played
do?
hopscotch, you know how that's kick a.
Yeah.
And we played black man.
What's that?
And black man would, you'd hide. No, that's hide and go seek. Black man must be when we'd run and try to beat the other, and you'll have a line, draw a line, and you'd all stand on this line and have a line way down here and see who can beat you over that line.
Okay.
I guess that was what we called. We just had, and we jumped the rope. We had a great big head, you know, our rope. We had to take care of that, and it'd be long, and two of them would throw it, you know, one on one end. And we jumped the rope and played this hopscotch and hide and seek, and in the wintertime, we didn't have too much to do, but they'd come anyway. These girls would. They'd get lonesome over there in the woods, and they'd come over and stay with us. And I probably stayed all night. I remember one time there in Claremore, they was staying all night with us, and it was all.
These are the Owens girls?
The Owens girls. That was Peterson was their stepdad. But I saw Minnie not too awful many years ago. I was in Claremore to somebody's funeral. I was with Edgar, and.
Edgar Riggs.
And Edgar Riggs, and Edgar's dead now. And Minnie had come up to me, and I didn't know her. Winford was already dead, and but Winford was my age. But I haven't seen that. She lived in Collinsville, Minnie, and that's where the girls finally wound up at. But we just we didn't have it easy. Well, we had it easy enough. Mom always had something to eat. We didn't have. She'd make cookies and she'd make donuts, and she'd always have something to eat. She had, and one time I know she made some lemon pies. She didn't have it, not lemon pies, vinegar pies.
Vinegar pies.
She made up, instead of having lemon for her water, she put vinegar in them, and they were good. And then she'd put eggs in them, you know. But she'd always have something for us to eat. Mama was a good mother if she didn't have nothing.
Yeah. Did you all have a church anywhere nearby? Did you ever go to church when you were a kid?
I remember going to a little country church, and I can't remember of anything. You want to get me a little pretty card. with Jesus' picture on it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything that they said or done, but I was little.
What about the other neighbors when you were in Verdigris and Catoosa?
Well, you don't remember the Buffingtons that had the funeral home here, do you?
I remember the name.
Well, now, that was the Straits was our best neighbor, and they had a whole house full of kids. And Lizzie was their oldest. And the Straits moved down here before we did, and Lizzie married.
Here being, you mean Spalva?
Yeah, they moved to Spalva. They left Verdigris, and then we finally come. Then when Mama come here, she and Dad are separated then. We stayed at Strait's house, with Mrs. Straight until we could get a house. And then Mom bought that restaurant, but her and Dad were separated then.
Now that's when you were when you came to Spalva.
Yeah, that's from what year was that? I was 15. And how old? And I was born in 1891.
You were 15?
Yeah,
It was 1906.
that's when we come here.
Okay, so just before statehood.
Yeah, it was statehood.
In 1907.
We came here in August and had statehood in November, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 1907 then is when
Yeah.
you came. Well now, okay, you went to, when you folks separated, you all moved down to Claremore.
Yeah, we
And
lived there, yeah.
You worked in a restaurant,
Oh, I
or your mom did.
Mom did, I didn't, I wasn't big enough.
Did all the kids come with you?
Yeah, but Jesse and the two boys, they had gone out on their own, and Aunt Dolly had two, so Mom didn't have but four of us.
Mm-hmm.
She had, I was the oldest, myself and Laura and Goldie and Willie, and Willie wasn't only about, Willie was about 2 years old, maybe. She's little.
Well now, when was it that you stayed with, out at Willie's?
Out where?
Or out on the Riggs' place?
Oh, at Uncle Jim's?
Yeah.
Well, that was after Dad and them separated. I guess Mom might have had to give that house up. I don't remember. And she went then she slept with she had a cousin lived there, and she worked in a restaurant. Of course, she worked 7 days a week then. And then she'd go to Bethany's and sleep. And Uncle Jim kept us kids. And we stayed.
Now, Bethany was her cousin?
Yeah, Bethany Dale.
Bethany Dale. Was Dale her last name?
That's her last name, but she was Presley Riggs' daughter. You've got,
Oh, okay.
and he had two daughters.
Yeah, Presley B. Riggs was her uncle.
Yeah, Presley was Grandpa's brother, wasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, well, see, Grandpa was her uncle, was Bethany's uncle. And Mom slept at her house and cooked in this restaurant, and then that's the way she take. But Uncle Jim, he fed us. Her old Mom would bring stuff out, I guess, when she had any money. But Bethany didn't charge her for staying there. All she did was just sleep and go to work and ate at the restaurant, so she didn't cost her anything. And if whatever she made, she had it to use on us kids and herself.